What's up, everyone? I am back with another response to a Reddit post in which a user is having trouble finding the drive they used to have. So, this is something that actually hits close to home for me because I've been in this spot a few times actually in my life, and to be honest, it can still be a struggle sometimes. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But for right now, let's go ahead and hear what they have to say. I've noticed this for a few years now, and it hasn't gotten any better. I used to enjoy a lot of things, for example, making maps and animations on the Source engine, 3D modeling, drawing, etc. I haven't been able to enjoy them at all for years. Every time I start a project or try to do something for fun, it just feels painfully unbearable. This has the obvious side effect of not having anything to show for. I have been fiddling around with the Source game engine for 5 years now, I think, and I have nothing to show for it besides a couple of animations and models from years ago. I don't engage in anything anymore. I just browse the web and sometimes play video games. Another big issue is that I'll be moving to study at a university, so I need to overcome this issue to make sure it doesn't affect my studies. How can I overcome this lack of passion/interest in things I still wish to do? Is there some term for this behavior, and what could cause it? So, like I said before, this is something that kind of hits close to home for me, and I really understand where you're coming from because it's really easy once you get into this funk to stay in it and then not be able to get out. So, when I was in high school, I loved to write stories. I had tons of notebooks filled with different stories, scripts for movies I want, like a movie I would want to do, characters, settings, different scenes, just because I thoroughly enjoyed creating. When I got out of school and I tried to write again, I couldn't get a word down on paper. Like, I'd literally sit and stare at a blank page for hours sometimes and not get a single sentence down. And there's a couple reasons I think this is why that happens. Is when you're younger and you do something, it's because you love the process. But as you get older, you become more tied to a result, like a tangible result. Instead of writing stories or making movies, or in your case, 3D modeling or game design, when you're doing it when you're with your friends, when you're younger, because it's fun. You just like doing it. But when you become older, you start thinking of that return on investment. Like, is this going to make me money? What am I going to get out of this? Who am I going to impress by doing this? So think about this. Most people don't think about the process when they set a goal. Everyone wants to hit the game-winning shot in a basketball game, but no one thinks about getting to the gym at 4 a.m. to take 1,000 shots every single day. A lot of people want a great body, but no one wants to meal prep and work out every single day. When you're younger and passionate, it's because you're concerned with process and not the results. Another thing is, when you're just having fun, when you're younger, there's no commitment, and no one has any expectations of you or how you even are using your time. So on one end, people will think you're cool and you're creative, and on the other hand, people might just say, "Oh, whatever makes them happy." When you look into things that you used to do for fun, people want to know, like, why you waste your time on things that aren't beneficial towards your career or making money. But despite the amount of articles out there telling people that they need to be passionate about what they do, they usually tie that to their career and not to hobbies. So as when you get older, you tend to focus less on your hobbies that make you happy and instead focus on things that make you money, because having good financial stability is considered happiness. So a third thing is, I'm guessing when you were doing the 3D modeling, you were doing it because you enjoyed doing it. It was something you looked forward to. It gave you satisfaction. Now that you're older, why do you want to continue to do it? So one of the reasons I realized I struggled writing was because I was doing it for other people. Like, I was seeking validation from outside myself. I wanted what I wrote to be published, and then it turned into, well, I want what I write to be turned into a movie, and then maybe I could do a video game after that. So instead of just focusing on a good story and enjoying, like, writing, I was writing for other people and not for myself. And another thing is, people sometimes set their goals too high from the start. So it seems almost impossible to achieve after a little while. So when they don't see any progress right away, they just quit. Like I said, I wanted to write this long epic and do all these things, and it was just too much. I had to change my goal from a huge epic to something else. There comes a time when you have to tell yourself, maybe this isn't for me anymore, or maybe I should use my skills in 3D modeling or game design for something else. So, for example, I realized I was a talented writer and could communicate messages really well. And while I wanted to still write a book, I changed that from writing a fictional story to a goal of writing a book on something that could benefit others. So I started writing a book on problem solving for professionals. And I really was interested in it because this is something that I enjoy doing just in general, even as part of my career. So once I started writing, after just a little while, I had dozens of pages written, and before long, I had over 100 pages written. So maybe think of other things you can do with your talents, but kind of in the same area. Just change your goal a little bit. You know, it's interesting as you get older too. You burn energy easier. So you know, you think about it when you wake up in the morning, you're at, let's say, 100% energy, and then let's say you go to class for 4 to 5 hours a day, and you're down to 50% of your energy. And then you got to study, so you're down another 30% of your energy. Well, then your friends want to, hang out, or they want to get food or whatever, so you chat with them. Now you're down to 10%. And, you only have a certain amount of time left in the day. You really don't want to spend the last 10% of your energy that you have while you're still up working on yet another project. So you're just burned out. It's just one of those things as you get older, that 100% energy you has gets burned through in 6 hours versus when you're younger, it took you 9 to 10 hours to burn through all that energy. So it's just, again, that's just part of being older. So you have to kind of change too. Like, are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough to eat? Are you taking care of yourself? Because that's where, the excuse generator turns on, is when you're just not feeling energized. The reason you can't even start your project sometimes is because you're being results oriented. You don't have the energy and you don't love the process. So what can you do? Well, again, maybe you're focusing on working on something that gives you validation or recognition. So instead, try to switch it around and doing something solely for helping other people. Instead of looking at it internally, look externally. Don't do it for yourself. In the sense, like, you're not doing it for, validation, but you're doing it to benefit other people. One of the reasons that my book really was something I used for motivation, because I knew that people who would read it would benefit from it. Another thing is, when you start putting things out for other people to see, you get kind of that high off of the likes and the comments and the subscribers and all that stuff. And, somebody else mentioned it earlier, but the first thing is you got to get off social media. It's a passion killer. It's not real life. The second thing is, again, setting a smaller goal. Even if your goal is leaving the house and going to a coffee shop to be in a public area, when you're just staying home and you're just playing video games, you're isolating yourself and you're cutting yourself off from contact, which means you're not able to go out and step outside yourself and talk to people and things like that. Which leads me into a third thing you can do, which is start saying hi to everybody you come across. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if they say hi back. It will just help you get out of yourself and you'll start feeling more positive and confident. So there's just something about when you pass somebody, down the street and you're just like, hey, how's it going? They're like, hey, how are you? And that's it. I mean, it's so simple, but for some reason, like, you just feel really energized after doing that. Finally, brainstorm some of the things you can do to help other people and see how you can build that into a project. I bet if I followed up with you in a few months, you'd be feeling a lot better if you did these steps. Anyways, I know that was a little long-winded, but I really hope it helps. It's kind of hard, to narrow it down exactly because, again, like, this is just a short post and, a response to a post. So, but I hope it helps at least a little bit. If you'd like to, asking me any more questions or you'd like to chat more, please feel free to reach out to me. Again, if anyone's watching this video and you're interested in coaching, or maybe you're in kind of the same boat, you can reach out to me at pbeattycoaching@gmail.com. As always, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos on how to improve yourself. Take care, and we will speak with you soon.